tell you when to start. Go ahead.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Not a Trekkie, an all Star Wars Everything podcast brought to you by Red Cyclone Inc. Everything from New Hope to Rogue One, even that Solo one, from Anakin and Obi-Wan to Rey left being the only one now. I cannot stress this anymore. There is no hate. This ain't Stargate, this ain't Star Trek, this is Star Wars. I'm your host, Tenacious T. Alongside me, via videocast, whatever you want to call it, the Merc with the mic.
What is going on, guys? What is going on? We are at the end.
We are at the end
of the prequels.
Yeah, man, it's been quite a road so far. You know what I mean?
Not a fun one either.
Well, I've enjoyed every little step of the way.
I've been having my issues with these movies, but
Well, you also went into it not being the hugest Star Wars
fan.
fan.
I haven't been the prequels fan. I have not been a prequels fan at all.
I actually, bro, I am loving the prequels even more now because I'm paying attention to everything.
That's the thing.
What I mean?
I'm paying attention to everything, and it's making me dislike
so it's irritating you more and
It's
more.
making me dislike it more and more. But
also,
this one was the better one.
We're not 10-year-old kids. You know what I mean? Like, we're adults analyzing and being over analytical about certain things. Trust me, I have my bad things that I don't like about it, but at the same time, I'm going into it with an open mind, and I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it so much.
So this is the cast of Revenge of the Sith, Episode 3. This is the final one of the prequels. So after this, will be probably a shoot the shit episode.
Yes, about the 3, and then we'll go into the next trilogy.
Then we go into the Disney trilogy. That's what I'm gonna call it.
The Disney trilogy.
Yeah, because they all produced by Disney.
If you guys could have seen his face when he said that. But yes, this is episode 3, right? Technically 6 in the series.
6 movie of the series, yeah.
So you got.
I will start it off with the opening crawl, because I guess we started this last podcast, and I kind of like the fact that we actually add this in, because not everyone actually reads that. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
It's actually very important to read it so you know what's happening as you're heading into it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
All right, so let's start this. War. The Republic is crumbling under the attack by the ruthless Sith Lord, Count Dooku. There are heroes on both sides. Evil is everywhere. In the stunning move, the Federist droid leader, General Grievous, has swept into the Republic captain and kidnapped the Counselor Palpatine, leader of the Galactic Senate. As the Serpent's droid army attempts to flee the Begside capital. With the valuable hostage, 2 Jedi Knights lead a desperate mission to rescue the captive Counselor.
Yeah. That's the
scroll.
That is the scroll.
And then we're pretty much
right into like an air battle.
Action, yeah.
You know what I mean? Which I thought was really cool from the jump. You know what I mean?
Cool. It was alright. I have a thing with dogfights. Like, I kind of like to see like the maneuvers and everything like that. I do not like to see the characters too much, and I feel like they just phone into the characters way too much in the scene.
Well, they were creating dialogue as they're flying. You know what I mean?
Well, they have walkie-talkies.
Well, yeah, but
I can just hear their voice and I know what they're doing.
You know, throughout the history of Star Wars right now, Anakin has been praised as, and this actually upsets me a little bit. This is probably one of the things that I just realized now as I was free flowing and freestyling this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Anakin Skywalker was claimed to be like the greatest pilot like ever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's never enough fighting and piloting for me to ever even call him that.
No,
You know what I
there is
mean?
not. Like he's
there's
in a
nothing.
spaceship. You know what's funny? If you really think about the whole Star Wars series that we have watched, especially when Vader's in when in the TIE fighter, there is nothing really special about everything.
Yeah, I mean, it was it's visually nice, but it's
Yeah.
not like Top Gun,
Yeah.
where you're in it, you're with Maverick and Goose,
Yeah.
and you feel it. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't feel like Anakin Skywalker was the best, fighter pilot in all the galaxy. I didn't.
Yeah, they
he
didn't
was
really show anything.
barely in a fighter.
Yeah.
The movies are more based of his inner demons and his sort of bipolarness. You know what I mean? Like. That's really like so like I just thought of that going into it, like, wow, like when we watch New Hope, or actually Empire Strikes Back, when he meets Yoda,
Yeah.
right, and he was like, yeah, even in New Hope, he's like, yo, my father was the greatest fighter pilot ever. Like, in my eyes, no, he wasn't. Like, maybe if they would have gave us more of that, I would understand it. But in my eyes, he's just fucking a Jedi flying and fucking saving Obi-Wan, because according to Obi-Wan and Anakin at this time, like, Anakin saved him, like, what, 9 times?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I can only imagine what we missed in the time frame from Attack of the Clones to now.
Yeah.
Because I know what we ushered out all the quarantine hair.
Yeah.
We finally got, we got him with a full mullet. You know what I mean? We got Obi-Wan with comb overs. You know what I mean? So, like, you can see them age. But straight from that opening scene, knowing what I know about Star Wars and what he's about to become, I could already see the evil in his face.
Yeah.
The second it starts. You know what I mean? Like, this guy's about to fuck some shit up. You know what I mean? But,
the whole, so pretty much they were looking for Count Dooku.
Yeah, he was, he kidnapped, Counselor Palpatine.
And, him being captured and like, there was no fear in his body whatsoever. He was just like sitting there like,
well, I felt like it was a big scheme to get Anakin there.
No, it was a big scheme to get him there, but like, honestly, like, if you're kidnapped, you actually show some effort, like, oh man, they were about to kill me and shit. No, he just sat there.
A fucking robot.
He just sat there like, hi.
Hey. You will get yours, Grievous. You will get it. You know what I mean?
Like, oh man.
And Grievous. I remember you hit me up earlier about Grievous.
Yeah.
It's so funny how a droid, a robot, has like asthma and shit. He's like huffing and puffing. He's all messed up.
What? Why? Like, what? Couldn't he get a respirator fixed and shit?
Well, my theory on that is that when he was created like with an AI that made him human, like, in a sense, so he can be a hierarchy and higher control of the droids, because he's like iRobot. You know what I mean?
They fucked
if you
up.
Remember that movie where he has like a consciousness and he's actually above the programming of everything else?
So,
and then you know what I mean?
So he has all the control, but asthma.
Yeah, but like, that was his downfall. Maybe he smoked too much. I don't know. Maybe he was smoking a ganj. He too many bong hits for him. You know what I mean?
Oh man, that was something that they kind of like, just like, yo, he's just mad calm. He's not even sweating like they're gonna kill his ass or none. He had like no like
emotions.
He had no emotion to whatsoever. He just watched and smiled, and it was like, yo, like, if you're in a hostage, you should at least show the fact that even if it's fake or not.
Yo, listen, man, I'm gonna be honest. To me, this was more of a Palpatine movie than anything. You know what I mean? Like, he really reigned supreme, hardcore in this, because you actually really got to see what the fuck was up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we all knew it, egging on it on, through the other previous prequels. Like, we know what's to come. You know what I mean? Like, we're getting the just. I mean, if you didn't know, now you know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they crash in, and he's captured by Dooku, right? And so when they come in, they have their fighting scenes, and they come in, quick little lightsaber fight, and then they go in to go and save him, and then Count Dooku comes in, which to me was such a stupid fucking thing, because when he comes walking in, he does this stupid flip over like the balcony when the stairs was like 2 seconds away.
Right.
Like he could have just walked to the left.
There's like flips for
instead
no
of-
reason.
I know. I was like, you know, it was literally like Power Rangers the movie. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
like
You didn't need to flip, bro.
Like, why are you doing double backflip and doing a front kick? That don't fucking make sense.
Now, me being a cinema guy, you know, wouldn't him talking shit walking down those stairs be more dramatic?
Yeah, because
than him
you have the
flipping
because you're taking your time going down the stairs, so you're being
and
fucking
then talking
arrogant
mad
as shit.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like look at your fucking stupid perm.
But he goes walking over and you know, he was like basically, you know, talking shit, and then Anakin's like, yo, like the last time you saw me, like my power's doubled.
Yeah.
And he said such a dope line. He was like, good. He's like, the more the ego, the bigger the fall. You know what I mean? So like he was egging it on.
Yeah.
And then boom, we hop into a pretty good starting lightsaber scene, which I like lightsaber scenes.
So you want to know something funny? I just wanted to point this out and everything like that. Like this whole thing of Anakin going to the dark side and shit. Wouldn't they really realize that he's going to the dark side just because he started wearing black all the time?
I don't know. I mean,
Like he just started wearing
is a
black.
shade.
He just started wearing black all the time. All the other Jedi's were like white, brown, like
Well, Mace
beige.
Windu wore brown, yeah, but brown could be considered dark in a way.
But
You know
he
what I mean?
wears black. He just started wearing black like all the time. I was like, yeah.
I don't know.
like-
Anakin started looking like a fucking dope fiend after a while. He had like rings around his eyes. You could tell he didn't sleep. Like there's something going on in that man's head. But yeah, so
Yeah.
they go through that fight scene, and Dooku tosses Obi-Wan. He gets knocked out. The thing falls down on him, and then you know Anakin and him get into a fight.
Yeah.
And then it's always a lightsaber always chops off a hand. That's how usually a fight.
Yep.
You know.
Oh, he got his head
starts.
chopped off in this one.
Well, but the thing is, he chopped his hand off and then had him there, and then you hear Palpatine, like literally in Anakin's ear.
Yep.
Bro, kill him, kill him. And Anakin's like fighting it. He's like, yo, he's like, no, like that's not the Jedi way. He was like, yo, he fucking, you know, like he deserves it. And then you can just see the emotion go through his head.
Yeah.
And then he chops his head off, which I thought was awesome. How to start a movie, you just commit murder.
Yep.
You know what I mean? When the Jedi way is peaceful. So like I thought that was awesome.
It was good. It was a good scene. I give it a play. And I didn't like Dooku, so I was happy he died.
Yes, but you know, like I'm actually intrigued by him because he was an apprentice of Darth Sidious. You know
but
what I mean?
you know what?
I
As
would have
I'm
loved
learning,
to have got like a more of a background with him.
and as I'm learning about the apprentice of Dark Sidious, he had a lot of apprentices, and they all didn't last.
Well, yeah, because they're all soft as a motherfucker.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
So I'm like, even Darth Vader didn't last. So it's like, I think Darth Vader lasted the most movies, but other than that, like it's like he's my apprentice. Like, how many apprentices you had, motherfucker? Why am I
Like,
supposed to follow you? Because you had like 10 apprentices.
This is not The Apprentice with Donald Trump, okay?
It's like what? Like how many apprentices has died before I came?
And the thing is, nobody, like even on like them dying, never spilled the beans about him being a counselor. You know, Councilman fucking Palpatine. You know what I
Well,
mean?
Darth Vader, Darth Maul, I don't even think really talk much. So he probably said it. You know what? You know what bothers me, and it's just like, we talked about this about the blue ghost and like having Quan Jin as a blue ghost and shit. Like all this time, like he didn't come out and it's like, yo, Anakin, what the fuck?
Yes, but now, but at the end of this movie, literally
Yeah.
one of the last scenes of the movie, it actually tells why.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, like, spoiler, you know, we'll get to it, but at the end of it, when it was all said and done, Yoda even told Obi-Wan that Quan Jin he came back.
Yeah.
And he's like, now I'm sending you to Tatooine to learn how to communicate with that.
Yeah.
That's how the movie ended.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it makes sense that they weren't trained in that sense.
Yeah.
But then again, why the fuck was Luke Skywalker able to do it? You know what I mean?
Because
So-
Luke Skywalker, I don't know.
You little bitch.
I have my issues with Luke Skywalker.
But yeah, so back to this, you know, He kills Dooku. Palpatine's like, yo, let's get out of here. And Anakin goes over to Obi, try to revive him, and Palpatine's like, no, leave him behind. He's like, no, fuck you, I'm taking him. You know what I mean? Like, our fate will be his fate. Whatever happens to him will happen to us. So then they do this whole big elevator thing and try to get away from the droids and shit like that. And then they ended up meeting up with Grievous. Yeah. And then Grievous breaks the window and escapes. You know what I mean? So it was just another time in Anakin and Obi's world of Anakin saving Obi-Wan. And this is actually, after the scene, Obi-Wan actually finally, you hear him give a nod. Instead of being an asshole the way he was in Attack of the Clones, he was like, yo, this is your day. You know what I mean? Go and reap the benefits of this. You saved me so many times, you have my respect. So it shows that he grew as a mentor and was, really happy with the way that Anakin was going. You know what I mean? Like, from the second movie to now, I'm pretty sure there hasn't been too many dark side moments. Yeah. You know what I mean? Where the influence was there, because he was genuine about that too. He was like, yo, I'm really happy, thank you. You know what I mean? Yeah. So they Palpatine goes to the council. Talks about Grievous getting away, and that the war won't end until Grievous is dead. So they make it a point to make that their number one priority. Enter shiny C-3PO, which I'm happy to actually see him, as C-3PO as we all know him to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we got Padme. She comes in, starts talking to Anakin about her being pregnant, and which is like a big shocker. You know what I mean? Yeah. With everything everything's going on in the world, man. The only thing I gathered out of that was that my man Anakin was getting some pussy. All right. But their relationship was a secret.
Yeah.
Like their marriage and everything. So like to them it was a big thing, but to the rest of the world they didn't want to disclose it because the queen would have made her resign and everything like that from the Senate, but
yeah,
that's neither here nor there.
But yeah, the only one that actually kind of knew, but you learned down the road was Obi-Wan.
Yeah, well, he's part of his life. You know what I mean? He was like brothers with him and shit. So.
Oh, that's cool.
But we get a nice little transmission from Grievous to Sidious. Now you know that Grievous is lined up with Sidious.
Mm-hmm.
And Sidious is like, yeah, because Grievous is mad that Dooku died. He was like, yo, what the fuck happened? He's like, don't worry about it. I got a new, younger, more powerful apprentice. So which he was hinting to Anakin because that was straight the dark side that made Anakin kill Dooku.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was the first sign ever that Palpatine was, like, he finally started to show his colors.
Yeah. You
know what I mean? Which I thought was a very important scene.
Yeah. For
his character build, because this movie is so fucking Palpatine the Emperor. You know what I mean? But Amidala tells him that she wants to have the baby back on the Naboo, that she doesn't really want any of this life anymore. She was like, she just wants him. You know what I mean? And
she wants out.
That was cute.
She wants the gang. She wants to get him out the gang.
But it's just like every woman does, right?
She wants him out the gang.
She wants him out the game to settle down, to be all domesticated, and then they end up leaving them. You know what I mean? Like they conform to everything a woman wants, and then they get cheated on. Well, that's just I guess mankind right there, but it's funny because the second that she mentions how she's having a kid, that's when his nightmares start coming back.
Yeah, he was like, no.
You know what I mean? Like, he wakes up and he's like, it's just her screaming, and then she dies. We don't really get in depth of what's going on, but this is like really more of the first time that he wakes up. He walks away and she wakes up and she follows him. Like, tell me what the fuck is going on. Don't leave me in the dark. We're in this together. Yeah. You know what I mean? So he tells her that she dies at child's birth and stuff like that, but he's going to do everything in his power to make sure that doesn't happen. She's like, stop being a little whiny bitch. This is just a dream. But as what we know from Attack of the Clones, his dreams do come true, sort of.
Yeah.
Sort of like a premonition, because the same thing happened with his mother.
Yeah.
He knew his mother was going to die, and then he went over to save his mother, and his mother died in his arms.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but what was also good is right after this, he goes to Yoda and starts talking to Yoda about it. You know, like he doesn't hide the fact that he's having dreams.
Yeah.
So he's seeking like sort of therapy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I guess Jedi therapy. And then, you know, Yoda tells him, he's like, yo, bro, it's like, you need to stop thinking like it. That's not the Jedi way. Because pain, suffering, all that, that's part of the dark side.
Yeah.
If you keep looking into your future, it will make you more sustainable to the dark side. So your ass needs to stop. You know what I mean? Like, death is a natural part of life. And the Jedi, you know, Jedis don't necessarily die.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Attachment leads to jealousy, as Yoda would so eloquently put it. You know?
And then he just didn't listen.
Yeah.
He just didn't listen. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know,
Keep
I
moving.
mean, yeah, well, I just go in. My notes is impeccable. So, yeah.
I have nothing
Obi-Wan,
to say
like,
about this part. That's why, like, you're going into the movie, so I don't have nothing to say about this part.
No, I feel you. I'm just giving an insight of,
Yeah.
because we can make a review really small, but it would be a fucking 40-minute. I like to stretch it out, so
Yeah.
it is what it is. And you don't even need to watch the movie after our shit, because I'm literally telling everything that happens.
Yeah.
But you know, Obi, you know, tells Anakin that Palpatine, you know, he tells him like, yo, Palpatine's looking for you, but be careful about this guy, man. I
Yeah.
felt like Obi-Wan started sensing that Palpatine was, you know, something was going on with him.
Yeah.
Which I never understood how Palpatine was so able to hide it from everybody. Except for me and you have a theory that Yoda was just like, fuck it. You know what I mean?
I feel like Yoda the whole time was like, you know what? I think he saw his future, and he was like, okay, I don't die by a Jedi's hand. I die sleeping. So I'm just gonna let shit happen.
listening to this fucking dude, this dude's son. You know what I mean? Like, let's fast forward to that, all right? 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm getting tired over here. Because at this time he's like 830 something years
Yeah,
old.
he's past his prime.
Yeah.
He long past his prime.
All the toads he's slept with in his life.
Oh yeah. I don't know, like, yo,
But,
Yoda should have some stories to tell.
Yoda probably was a pimp at one point, you know. Before like was
He tried
was
everything.
Yoda, which I would love to get a Yoda movie, because like was Yoda like the younglings, the Yinglings, whatever the
Yeah.
hell they were called? Was he like that? Was he born into this?
So
You know what I mean?
So there's theories, and I think there was a book that kind of led that the
I don't
fact
really
that.
trust the books, but you know
But
what I mean?
a lot of, especially like with Jon Favreau and shit like that, when he did The Mandalorian, he kind of went with
like he was born with the Force.
yeah, he was they're Force strong. That their species is Force strong. So
Yeah.
when they born, they have the Force.
So they're like psychics. They have a third eye.
Yeah, they born
that
like
they,
that.
That they never lose. You know,
Yeah.
lose. You know what I
They're
mean?
born like that, but what they have in their mind, they're fragile in body.
Yeah, because he's not really the masculine
Yeah,
of
exactly.
things, but he puts in work, bro. When he fights,
Yeah.
he fucking fights.
No,
you know what
yeah.
I mean? I love seeing Yoda fight, bro. I think
No,
it's
but
fucking awesome.
what I mean is like the fact that like they're not big in stature, but they're big in their mind. Like they can control more with their mind and shit like
Well,
that.
look at the theory of aliens in our world, right?
Yeah,
They're resembled as child-sized beings.
yeah,
You know what I mean? They're not really gigantic things. It's just their minds are more powerful and more intellectual than ours.
'cause
You know, in theory, of course, if you
because we're
believe in all
stupid
that stuff.
fucks.
Well, yeah, we're primitive.
The world
But-
is stupid.
So, basically, yeah. So, Palpatine, you know, calls for Anakin. So, he goes to him, and he was like, Palpatine puts him on the council. He was like, I want you to be my eyes, my ears, because now you're already sensing that, you know, he already said it, that he's already about to start brewing a new apprentice. And
Yeah.
now Anakin's in his sight. So he's like, why not fucking, you know, go against the council, because the Council of Jedi have to appoint a master and point them on like the board. You know what I mean? Palpatine put his foot down, like, no, you're gonna put him in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they all actually took offense to that shit.
Yeah.
So when he met up with them, they were like, no, motherfucker, like, you'll be part of the council, but you're not gonna be a Master Jedi.
Yeah.
He took so offense to that, like, and that's when I could tell everybody didn't trust him after that.
You know what's funny? No Skywalker was a Master Jedi.
Well, I mean, Luke was self-appointed. I think Leia was probably a Master Jedi.
No, she was not.
Well, if you watch Rise of Skywalker, she became a Master Jedi.
She became a Jedi. She became to work with the Force. She never became a Master Jedi.
She trained Rey, though.
Hmm?
She trained Rey.
Yeah, but she was
in
not.
order for her to train Rey, she has to be a Master Jedi.
No, she
But then
don't.
again, at this time, all the Jedi's dead. So,
yeah, no, she
you know what
don't.
I mean? So,
because Luke was training her too, and he's not a Master Jedi.
well, he
He's self-proclaimed.
Yoda died before he made him a Master Jedi. Okay.
Yoda was not going to make him a
I
Master Jedi.
I actually think that Darth Vader and the Emperor Palpatine actually made Luke a Jedi when he was hiding at the end of Return of the Jedi.
Right.
You know what I mean?
They're like, yo, we got you. Fuck Yoda.
But
just to piss off Yoda in his grave.
he's turning over in he's
just
turning
gonna
over in
piss him
spirit
off.
world right now.
Yeah, right. But
But,
like it was self-proclaimed. No Skywalker became like a real Jedi. They were
Well, on
self-proclaimed
paper
master.
anyway.
Yeah.
On paper anyway. You seen them earn it on film. You know what I mean? But
Nah, they didn't earn it. I don't think they earned it. They're all dumb.
well, Anakin, he went to the Sith. So is the Sith the same thing as the Jedi when it comes
No, it's
to
not.
being a master?
No, it's not. It's
'Cause
like a
you're
shortcut.
a Sith.
It's like taking steroids.
Maybe, but I think that the Darth name is like a master.
It's
term
like
for
taking
Sith.
steroids.
But am I wrong for thinking that? Like, there's Darth Maul, there's Darth Sidious, there's Darth.
I just think, honestly, I think Palpatine had a thing for the name Darth.
Well, I think that Darth really meant something. You know what I mean? So.
Oh, man. I don't know.
But Dooku was Count Dooku. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So maybe he wasn't good enough. Maybe his balls didn't drop.
he
I don't
didn't.
know.
Yeah, exactly. He didn't do enough shit to make him a Darth. He's like Dooku. It sounds like a shit.
I call him Dookie all the time.
Like I gotta go do a Darth Dooku.
But yeah. So Skywalker's talks with Obi. He's you can see him really emotional. He's like, yo, this shit's not fair. How the fuck can I even be on a council and not be a master? And Obi's like, yo, you need to watch your relationship with Palpatine. There's something going on. You know what I mean? And they made him spy on him. And he had such a bad fucking vibe about that. Yoda ends up leaving to go to the Wookiee world. I forget the name of it. I didn't write it down. But Kashyyyk. Yeah, Kashyyyk.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, he goes with the clones.
Yeah.
So the clones, everybody's part of the Republic at this time because they think democracy actually fucking matters at this, But Obi goes and talks to Mace Windu about Skywalker not liking his assignments, and that it was dangerous for him, to be put with Palpatine because I think Mace Windu was probably getting more of the vibes than anybody. You know what I mean? Like he was starting to see what was really going on, and that Anakin is obviously a whiny little bitch that has too many emotions. That's the reason why he's not a Master Jedi because he has no control over his emotions. He really doesn't.
Stop your shit.
They even said it. It's like Obi's like, isn't he the fucking chosen one?
Yeah.
And then Yoda's like, well, maybe we misread this. Maybe he's not. We've been putting our faith in this guy who's been fucking throwing red flags since episode 1.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Since he was a little kid, they've been throwing flags about it.
Just goddamn.
But even at this time, Padme is even second guessing what the Republic is doing.
Yeah.
She's like, yo, it's like every time there's a fucking fight, there's no diplomacy. She just wants to be with him. She's like, yo, let's go back to Naboo. Let's raise the kids on Naboo. because that's where she's from. You know, she had everything all planned out. Like, let's leave this life behind. And Anakin, he's not having it because he's all. I feel like he was just ego tripping. You know, like he felt like he was better than what he's supposed to be.
Palpatine was tickling his butthole.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, it's very, it's very like, it's very like kind of like priest kind of shit.
Well,
like,
you know, literally,
you got too old, and I go for the young one.
Well, it's like I need some young meat. He's like the Tiger King. He's like the Tiger King. He's like, I got done with this piece of ass. Let me go get this other guy over here. But yeah, like Skywalker meets up with Palpatine, and he is right back in his ear again.
Yeah.
He's like, "Yo, I'm surprised they didn't fucking, you know what I mean? Like, I'm surprised they didn't put you on the council. What is wrong with them? Why aren't you the one going after fucking General Grievous?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If they got word of where Grievous is, why aren't you leading the thing? You're the most talented fucking person." So that's him just egging it on and egging it on.
He's just like
in his ear.
saying what he wants to hear too.
Exactly, bro. He was so good at that.
Yeah, he was like, "Your pants look great. Your boots are awesome.
Like, your ass, your glutes have been so nice.
I love the curly hair.
I'm happy you got rid of that quarantine hair, even though you was cute back then." You know what I mean? So, like, he starts feeling like the Council of the Jedi is sort of against him. Like, yo, they're plotting on him. Like, they don't trust him. So, like, Palpatine's in his ear. The Council is telling him no, but the Council is doing it for his own good and for the good of everybody else.
Yeah.
He's just not seeing that. He's like a child in the sense that he thinks that he's just being poked at, while he has this councilman in his ears praising him that he should be doing some bigger things. You know what I mean? So he was like, you know, like, he kept feeling that the council was going to turn on him eventually. So that's when he goes and they're sitting down, and this is when we first hear out of the mouth of Palpatine that, you know, the Sith is like this is the first time you ever hear of it. He starts talking to him about how the Sith and the Jedi are actually alike. They are so alike in every way. You know what I mean? Except, and then Skywalker, fucking Annie goes. He's like, no, the Sith are about themselves. They're not about life. We're about compromise. We're about this. We're about that. He's like, no, you're wrong. He's like, the Sith is about us. It's about handling what the fuck we need to handle and getting shit done. Like, there's more perks of being on the dark side than there is the light, because the light has restrictions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he's like, he tries to show him that there's different sides of good. There's different points of views of good. You know, there's, you know, perfect example is like, and it sucks to even bring it up, but like Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler, in the eyes of his people, was a fucking hero.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And to them, he was doing good. So their perception and perspective was him doing good, while the rest of the world was thinking he's doing bad.
Yeah.
So us being America going over there and stopping them, we're evil for stopping him, but we're good for stopping the evil. So it's like it's the teeter-totter of the world. It's all about the perception of what side you're on. You know what I mean?
It's a catch-22.
Technically, the Empire, their main focus was to maybe control everything but have peace at the same time.
And
that's what it was
the
supposed
rebels
to be
were a
about.
Democracy.
Exactly. And they were trying to bring things back. So who was really bad in that factor? You know,
Everyone.
maybe the fact that Darkseid killed people to make shit happen. You know what I mean?
I think the only one that was good was Yoda.
But Yoda at the same time, even in this movie was like, all right, sometimes we're gonna have to go against the fucking the way of the Force in order to get shit done. He understands compromise.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But he's setting in his ways, bro. He's fucking 850 years old. You know what I mean? Like,
shit, man.
he's going to, you know, he's gonna. You can't teach an old dog new tricks.
He tired.
You know what I mean? But oh yeah, man, he probably hasn't got his dick up in fucking forever. You know what I mean? Like,
he mad about that.
But and this story is really the story what Palpatine is about to say to Anakin at this time is actually extremely important, because this is the turning point to me of the entire movie.
Okay.
He starts talking to him about the story of Darth Plagueis.
Yeah.
Plagueis, which is a legend. He's like he used the macronins,
Yeah.
The force life that's the cell molecules inside of you. If you have the force, I forget I can't enunciate what I'm trying to say, but he used that to create life, and Anakin's like, holy shit, like this guy created life, and he was like, yo, he also had the ability to save the people who he loved. So with Anakin having these dreams and also dealing with all the crap that he dealt with his mother, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he couldn't do anything with his mother. And what happened after his mother died? He killed he genocided a whole community. You know what I mean? Like, so like to him, like this was so intriguing. But then also at the same time, Palpatine said something very slick. He was like, yo, the thing is, you know, just like every good emperor, they don't want to lose their power. And eventually they do. They get taken out. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, this guy might have been able to save other people's lives, but he couldn't save his own.
Yeah.
So that was like a red flag right there, trying to tell him, like, yo, I can give this to you, but I ain't promising you shit, bro. You know what I mean? It's like the fine print. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In the contract. So like he started getting more prone and more what is the word I'm looking for? He was seduced by the dark side by that story because he's scared that Padme's gonna die.
Yeah.
And the woman that he loves so much, he doesn't want her to die, and he's gonna do everything in his power to do that. So he gets mad over the fact that the Jedi won't teach teachings of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like that whole scene is so dramatically important to this whole movie. You know what I mean? I had to accent on that a little extra.
No, that's fine.
Because it's so important, because now this is you pull the block out in Jenga. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All the chips start falling in. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't know. Anything you want to add in on that before I start going? All right. So yeah, Yoda meets with the Wookiees. You know what I mean? And
you see the first appearance of Chewbacca.
The what?
If you see the first appearance of Chewbacca, Chewie's in this.
Yeah, it's a Chewbacca. Yeah, Chewie, and then you see his whole society of Wookiees.
Yeah. But you actually see Chewie.
But we've seen them in another. We've seen them in what? In fucking Return of the Jedi.
But not but you don't see them like that. Like you see Chewie in the other movies, but you have not seen Chewie as a character yet. This is the first appearance of Chewie.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. With other Wookiees as well.
Yeah, all the other Wookiees. No one cares about those. I don't even care about Chewie.
Even though there are actually some really important ones in other stories of Star Wars.
Oh yeah, they're important, but the only one that's really important is Chewie.
Yeah. So
he's the star.
Fucking,
the other ones are not.
Yoda goes and meets with them. You know, basically warns them that Grievous is gonna go there, and fucking destroy shit. You know, and then the droids come in, and they start attacking. So, you know, I mean, that's that quick scene.
Yeah.
But, and then we flash back to Anakin, and he's talking to Obi-Wan, and he actually apologizes to him. He was like, yo, man, it's like, I'm sorry for, like, my arrogance and stuff like that. He's just really frustrated with the council. Like, how could you trust in me, but not trust in me? It's like, you're either with me or you're against me. So he was like, yo, you need to be patient. You have to work on being patient. You have to work on you. You have to, you have to listen, motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Like, they've been around a long time. They know what the fuck they're talking about. Yeah. So, Obi, I like this scene too, because Obi meets up with the clones, because Obi's the one that goes to go find General Grievous.
Yep.
You know what I mean? He was the one that was appointed.
Written.
Which Obi-Wan is actually named General. In this
yeah.
movie, which I thought was fucking cool as shit. You know what I mean? Because in the last 3 movies that just came out, Leia was General. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which I thought was pretty cool. But yeah, you got to see the clones with the masks off, which is fucking Jango Fett.
Yeah, you
know
kind of saw them in the beginning
again.
of this movie too, in And
like a split second, yeah. But this
yeah.
is when he's actually interacting with them,
Yeah.
and they each have different job titles and different personalities and stuff. You know what I mean? So he was like, "Yeah, all right. When I call you guys, like I'm going to fly in, and start fucking shit up, but I'll save some for you." So Skywalker has Anakin has another dream.
Yeah.
And then he asks Padme if Obi-Wan came to visit, and she's like, "Yeah, he came this morning." You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, he was like, "Yo, Obi-Wan can't be trusted." You know what I mean? Because he's holding things back, and you can see in her face, she's like, "No, like, yo, that's your brother. He fucking loves you."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he starts talking more and more about how he needs to save her and that he's willing to do anything in his power to save her. And then this is when you see the dark side starting to creep in more and more and more. You know what I mean? It's because his emotions keep flying because, boom, he had another dream. And every time he has a dream, he has to fucking react on it because he thinks he's fucking God Almighty. But, so we go to Obi. He goes to that the planet with the Wookiees and everything. Well, not the Wookiees. He goes to where the General Grievous is.
Yeah.
And he rides in on that weird ass animal.
That fucking screamed all the damn time. How the hell you sneak around when you fucking screaming all the damn time?
Do you think that was like a dog for that planet?
It's like a horse lizard. I don't know.
It was weird, but he seemed friendly as shit. Like I would ride on top of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was fun. He just was loud as shit. He made a weird noise too.
Obi jumps in. Fucking there's a huge big scene with a whole bunch. He gets surrounded and everything like that. He kills a couple people. Kills a couple drones, should I say? They're not fucking people.
Yeah. And
then the clones come in and boom, there's this huge big fight going on. And General Grievous is like, "I'll take care of him." He's like, Grievous even mentioned that he was trained in the Jedi way from Dooku.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we got a first droid robot, which I would call him a humanoid. I wouldn't really call him a droid because he did have a personality and like an AI that was pretty sophisticated.
Yeah. So
like, he comes in with that he's got the multiple lightsabers. He's got like 4 lightsabers going.
Yeah, he
I thought
learned
that
their
scene
style.
was crazy. Well, the thing is with him, he collected Jedi's lightsabers.
Yeah.
So he had like fucking 4 lightsabers flying around. Like, say like Goro had a whole bunch of fucking lightsabers spinning at once.
He would have been a dope character if he didn't have asthma.
I like him because he had asthma.
I didn't like that.
He probably couldn't eat sweets either because he was probably diabetic. You know what I mean? Like,
but he was a cool looking character. Like the fight scene between him was actually pretty cool. Like he was like a fucking razor blade and shit.
You remember Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
Yeah.
Alan Rickman's robot.
Yeah.
Who is a robot with emotions.
Yeah.
It made him that much better because he had emotions. He was depressed. He was mad. This is what he was. You know what I mean? He was a humanoid. He showed emotions, and he had asthma. So when he would run, he would be out of breath. But he looked like and I said this to you earlier. He looked like that machine from Judge Dredd.
Yeah, he did.
Armando Sante ended up taking over. He looked like him, just like a Weasley version of him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So they have the big fight, and basically Obi finds his weak spot, which is like in his chest cavity, and they end up fighting, and he ends up fucking killing him. You know what I mean? He didn't even really have too much of a problem with that, honestly. But that whole lightsaber scene, I thought was so dope.
Yeah, it was cool.
I thought that was a cool little niche. You know what I mean?
It was fun. Yeah, it was a cool scene to see.
And then right after that, it goes right to Mace Windu and everything to get the information that General Grievous is killed. But now is starting to sense that there is something going on with Palpatine.
Yeah.
Like he's sensing it. You know what I mean? Like he which I'm pretty sure they were sensing the Sith was around, but they had no clue of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But now they're starting to get the face to it.
Yeah.
So, once again, fucking Palpatine's in fucking Anakin's ear,
Yeah.
saying that how he's not a Jedi Master and how he's being held back of real power.
And I can give you all the power.
I can give you anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He kept telling me, he's like, yo, I will train you. You know, you follow me. I will train you. I will teach you everything the Jedi will not show you. You know, like you come with me and I got you. So, once Skywalker found out that he was the Sith Lord that everybody was, feeling and stuff like that, he went and turned him over.
Yeah.
He did the right thing. He went to Mace Windu like, yo, listen, we can't trust this guy. He just told me straight up that he knows the ways of the Jedi. And fucking, Mace is like, all right, thank you. He's like, yo, finally, you earned my trust. I trust you. But don't get involved. Stay the fuck out of it. I got this. We gotta arrest you.
I have a feeling that it was a plan. And it was like he wasn't going to trying to earn their trust. I think Palpatine told him to tell them that you know who I am, and then they planned to fucking kill his ass.
Well, I
because
don't
it was
agree with
too
that
sudden. It was too sudden. It was too easy.
But the thing is, when Mace Windu goes to him, because we can go right to that right now.
Yeah.
He goes to him, and they have that huge scene where he electrifies him, and then he blocks it with the fucking the lightsaber, and he gets all fried, and you hear Palpatine yelling to Anakin. You can see Anakin flustered about what's going on. He's like, no. He's like, I don't want this to go on. So I don't think Anakin had like any real insight of what was going on. It might have been Palpatine's fucking thing to get him over there, because Mace Windu at this time is one of the most powerful Jedi out there.
Yeah.
He has a lot of say. If he talks more than fucking Yoda does on the council. You know what I mean? So it's like, maybe that was a lure to get him there, but little did he know that he was going to turn into the California raisin fucking face.
The old man's butt. That's what he looks like. Yeah, he turned, and then he cut Mace Windu's arm, and then they killed him.
Yeah, no, he chopped his arms off. Like, once I saw it, I was like, oh my god! But that whole scene had me on edge, man.
Yeah, it was a good scene.
It really did. Like, I thought that was good, because that was like the moment when Anakin just subdued to the he was completely like, fuck it, like, you're my master, like, I will do everything I can to be part of the dark side, because he wants to learn how to save lives so he can save Padme. You know what I mean? So, I mean, Mace Windu's his fault. What he did wrong is he went there by himself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You already sense that there's something going on with Anakin, right? Why would you go there by yourself? Like, you have other people around that you could come with clones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then again, clones actually work for the Republic, so they would probably listen to Palpatine before they would listen to Windu if Palpatine said something. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And this is where a lot of the deaths start coming down.
Yeah, nah, it's
Order
crazy,
66
man.
starts coming up because the console. He took over the console after this.
Yeah, no, he basically said that the Jedi was trying to take over the Republic, and that they needed to stop it. Yeah. So they completely turned the democracy into a dictatorship, into one big gigantic galactic empire.
Yep.
And then you hear Padme like, oh, there goes Liberty.
Yep.
Liberty was just destroyed with the roaring sound of applause.
Yeah.
Which I thought was probably her best moment in the whole movie.
Yeah, she was barely, she was not really a character I enjoyed in this movie.
Nah, I agree. I agree with you.
But then.
But once Windu gets killed, it flashes to Yoda for a quick scene.
Yeah, because he felt
Yoda
it.
senses it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yoda felt it.
Yoda feels, but he doesn't do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then,
he's like, it hurts my heart, but I shall not do nothing about it.
Yeah, this kind of goes into leading him into the school to kill all the fucking Jedi.
Oh my god, when that happened, bro, because Palpatine tells him, he's like, yo, you have to kill every single Jedi. Everything that goes against what we are doing right now has to die. And the fact that he goes in and kills all the younglings, bro, like, I was so heartbroken when I saw it. I mean, I've seen it many times, but watching watching it, like taking my notes and being engulfed in it, I was like, oh my god, this shit is just insane, bro. And then Yoda senses him killing them too.
You know what gets me with Anakin? It's like, yo, every person you fight, like, they can't really fight back. Like, you hit Mace Windu from behind. You barely fought Darth Cuckoo.
Yeah.
You fought children.
He's a coward.
He's a bitch.
He's a soft little bitch, right?
He's a soft little bitch. Like, and then with the one person that he has that's kind of even with him, he lost to.
Yeah.
Little bitch. Just saying.
But I agree 100%. So Palpatine's in his ear, like, yo, which I ain't gonna call him Palpatine anymore. He's the Emperor now.
Yeah, he's.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna call. I've been calling him Palpatine because that's, he's the council.
But he declared him the name Darth Vader before then, and then he pretty much became his hitman.
Do you think he came up with that off like the whim? Like,
I feel like that was the next name.
Darth Vader. I felt like he wrote
list.
names out like years ago. Like, I'm gonna call somebody this.
Yeah,
I'm gonna call somebody that.
And all the fucking apprentices he has, he crossed them out, so he was up to Vader.
Yeah, but he had Dooku, and he's like, yeah, Dooku I already know is gonna die and fail me, so he's just a count.
Yeah.
He's not a Darth.
You know what's funny? Is the fact that maybe it's alphabetical order, and Dooku was like high up, and then they just did it in alphabetical order. So Vader's the last of the few.
Well, Dooku was one of the original ones. He's the one that taught fucking Quan Jinn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Anyway.
So, so when he got named Darth Vader, his whole, everything of the way he looked was just evil. From then on out, there was no good left in this man. Even though he had an illusion of doing good, like, it was, he goes... the Order 66, all the Jedi start getting killed,
And it happened not just Anakin doing it; it was the stormtroopers and everything like that. They fucking got the order and they started killing everybody.
Because they listened to the leader of the Republic, which is Palpatine.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, once he said that, they knew what they had to do. They no hesitation, and those scenes were fucking awesome to me because they're walking with the Jedi.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're like, fucking, getting ready to do something, and then all of a sudden they just slaughtered them. Like it was nothing.
Off subject, but it's something that I kind of enjoyed. If you played Star Wars, the Fallen
Order.
Yeah, it's pretty much the scene of the Order 66. I still haven't
fucking finished it yet.
But in the beginning, it's the scene of Order 66 that you actually see when he's like a youngling with his apprentice, with his teacher. So yeah.
Yeah, I haven't played it since the game came out, and I just passed the first world. And then I haven't touched it since.
No,
I'm really upset about it.
It is the first world. Like, the Order 66 happened in the first world.
Yeah.
So that was the only thing. Like, I just if you want to play the game, like, again,
please go play the game, man. That game is from the little bit that I played it. If you really wanted to be a Jedi at one point in your life, this is the game to do it.
Yeah.
It's just like the Ghostbusters game. If you ever wanted to be a Ghostbuster, go play the Ghostbusters game. You know what I mean? Because you are one.
So, pretty much the Jedi is getting fucking knocked out every which way, and then was it
Organa?
Huh?
Organa's the one that Senator Organa.
Yeah.
He was the one that basically got away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then met up with Yoda to tell him what was happening, because Yoda. He took off of the Wookiee world because he was feeling what was going on.
Yeah.
So, Obi meets up with Yoda. Obi-Wan meets up with Yoda and Organa. And then he was like, yo, this shit is happening. He was like, no, it's happening fucking everywhere, bro. Every single one of us. And then they found out that a code was sent out through the Jedi wave, right? Stating a certain code that in order, like, when something happens, retreat and go to the Temple of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Which was just a big setup, because they wanted all the Jedi to be in one place so they can fucking mass extinct them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, Palpatine meets with Organa, you know, stuff, you know, the little small little side stuff going, you know what I mean? So they, that's when the whole Emperor scene comes in. He's like, yo, they dismantled my face. They messed me up. We're gonna fucking come together and we're gonna be one great thing and we're gonna restore order and peace to the thing. You know what I mean? So this is when this is happening, Yoda and Obi-Wan find the kids.
Yeah, and they find them all dead.
Like,
and then he had to see it for himself, and he wanted to see.
Well, they saw that it was done by a lightsaber.
Yeah, they saw that it was done by a lightsaber, but they didn't know who. And Yoda was telling him it was Anakin, but he didn't believe it. He needed to see it for himself. So he goes into the security cameras, and he sees fucking Anakin kneeling to Palpatine and shit, like a little bitch like he is.
And then he saw him killing the kids and shit. Yeah. He's like, I can't believe it. So Yoda basically tells him, like, yo, bro, this is your apprentice. You're gonna have to handle this shit.
You know what?
Once again, Yoda wants nothing to do with it. He's like,
I told you I didn't want to train him.
I told you from the beginning he was too old. I told you since the Phantom Menace that this kid was going to be a menace.
He should have came out with a list. I told your ass that
a whole book of shit, right?
Yeah, I gave you a whole thing to tell you, and you don't fucking listen. So you know what? You're gonna fight him. You're gonna deal with this shit. If you lose, then bye, and I'm gonna be in Dagobah. Peace.
Yeah.
But he also tries to help, though.
You know, maybe in like Twisted World, maybe Yoda wanted this shit to happen. You know what I mean? He was just tired of the Jedi's bullshit. Yeah. It's like the story in the comics of Captain America actually being Hydra.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe Yoda just got fucking fed up. He's just like, I'm tired of these motherfuckers, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nobody can ever understand what I'm saying because I speak in tongue.
Yeah.
Fucking, I've been doing this shit for 800 years. I've been teaching kids. They turn up to be snotty fucking brats. You know what I mean? I have this one fucking apprentice that I got forced upon, and he completely single-handedly fucked us all up. He's like, I'm done. He's like, I'm done with this shit. So Obi, after he finds out everything that's going on, he goes to Padme.
Yeah.
And he tells her, he was like, yo, Anakin is completely dark side. He completely turned. And she's like, you know, and he was like, yo, Palpatine is the reason why everything is happening. Like, he's the reason for the wars. He's the reason for the deaths. He's the reason for everything. You know what I mean? So, basically, everybody gets killed. That needs to, all the Jedi. But Obi, before all that happens, you know, he sends out a code to tell them to go and hide.
Yeah. So
we don't know how many Jedi actually were saved from this, but we just know that a majority did get slaughtered in a very crazy fashion, which I thought was dope.
Got everything.
You know what I mean? So, Skywalker goes to the Severgists, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
They've been in the movies since episode 1. He goes and kills them because Palpatine said that once they took over everything, that they were going to be like, you know, they were going to be rulers and shit, and then Anakin comes in, fucking slaughters them, and that's when you see Anakin with the first time with the Emperor eye, as I would put it, or like the eye of Mordor.
Yeah, he had like fucking like red and yellow eyes and shit.
It's fucking crazy. It looked very demonic. You know what I mean?
He looked like a goth kid.
That planet was like a lava planet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, Padme, she's like, all right, fuck this. I'm going to go fucking find Skywalker myself. I'm going to go find Annie myself.
Yeah.
And Obi fucking hides on the ship as she goes to fly in. And, she flies in, she meets up with Anakin, who's already far gone.
Yeah.
She goes over, like, what the fuck is happening with you? And he's like, everybody turned on me. I had to do all this. You know what I mean? Like, I need to save you. And she's like, no, they fucking love you. Like, what is wrong with you? And then he was like, yeah, but I have a plan to overthrow Palpatine, the Emperor, and then we can take over the whole galaxy and make it the way that we want it. And then when he said that to her, you could see her whole demeanor change. She's like, I don't know who the fuck you are no more.
Are you stupid, motherfucker?
Like, what? all that pillow talk that you did with me for these last couple years.
I regret it.
I
If I could change this pregnancy, I will right now.
If I can go back to being 10 years older than you and I was a little kid, I would have smothered you with a pillow, you little shit.
I should have. Like, while you were pod racing, I would have put a screwdriver in your engine.
But now, because of what she said,
yeah,
he automatically snaps. He's like, they got to you, they turned you against me, and he was gonna fucking kill her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's when Obi-Wan fucking comes in, and you know what I mean? Like they exchange words. He drops her as they're exchanging words. She checks to make sure that she's all right.
Yeah.
So she gets taken off on the ship, and when she gets taken off on the ship, they check her vitals and everything like that, and they find out that she's bearing twins.
Yeah.
But she's also dying at the same time.
Good.
And it wasn't because there was anything wrong with her. They actually specifically said she's completely healthy, but her will to live is dying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because Anakin's stupidity.
She broke her fucking heart. You know what I mean?
Anakin was so stupid, it caused her death.
He's a fucking moron. Like, she was head over heels in love with this fucking guy who's 10 years fucking younger than him.
Yeah.
Or younger than her. You know what I mean? So, we see this fucking pretty dope scene with Anakin and Obi-Wan, and they're fighting. You know what I mean? And then he was like, he's like, if you're not with me, you're my fucking enemy. He was like, all right, then so be it, bro. Like, Obi-Wan didn't even hesitate. He was like, if you want it, you can fucking get the smoke, bro.
Yeah.
I will fuck you up. You just killed everybody I know, everybody that trained me, every way of our life. Like, you just destroyed all that. Like, it's on and popping, bro.
Yep.
Let's do this. So, obviously, this is a lava planet. You know what I mean? And they're hopping on fucking lava logs and all this. At the same time, Padme is giving birth to who? Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia. You know
she
what I mean?
gave birth exactly when fucking Anakin got picked up.
Well, yeah, she's in labor at this time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So she's
fighting.
in labor. She hasn't given birth yet. She's in labor.
But yeah, she's in labor. And then, which to me, this last 10 minutes, 15 minutes, to me, is the second greatest scenes, should I say, in all of Star Wars. You know what I mean? Like, I think, like, even watching it again today, like, I watched it twice within the last 2 days.
Yeah.
It was so good. It really was. Like, the fighting scene with him and Obi, because they were fucking really fighting. They were going in.
Yeah.
That lightsaber fight was so hardcore that, you know what I mean? Like, it was just everything that I needed and everything that I wanted for the birth of what's about to come. You know what I mean?
I will admit to one thing with that fight scene, the lightsaber fight scene they had in the end, was probably the best lightsaber scene
of the
in
prequels.
Star Wars.
Actually, probably up to this moment
because
in
you
time
never got like
Star
big
Wars.
Star Wars like in the original
Fast
trilogy.
moving.
You never got like crazy ass lightsaber battles. They were just very like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, mechanical.
And then you go to the Disney versions. They got some good fight scenes, but they didn't have the impact that this fight scene had.
This to me was the second greatest scene ever in Star Wars. You know what I mean? Where you got Obi-Wan, he's on the land, and Anakin is right there, and Obi warns him. He's like, yo, listen, bro, I got the upper hand. Don't even fucking try it. So Anakin, being as arrogant as he is, he tries to do a flip, and fucking Obi-Wan just chops his legs off.
I was
so
happy
now
about that
Anakin
shit.
has one arm. He has one arm and no legs.
Yo, when Obi-Wan cut his legs off, I laughed my ass off.
I laughed, but I felt it at the same time.
I was like, good for your ass. That's how cocky you got.
I was like, Lieutenant Dan. But you ain't got no legs, Lieutenant Dan.
Yeah, he ain't no want me to know. My me-time hand.
But yo, like, so Anakin's laying there now. He's right next to the lava flow, so all the Emperor's is right there. He just gets engulfed in flames, and fucking Obi-Wan just leaves his ass there.
Yeah.
I fucking love it. I love it. Because that was so good. It's like, bro, you just fucking destroyed everything that we ever were. Like,
Yeah.
fuck you. You just left on the rot. You know what I mean?
And then,
Palpatine
these are...
comes in.
Yeah, they pick...
Palpatine, And the clones come in and fucking scoop him up.
Scoop his burnt ass.
So at the same time as Padme is having, you can say this because you were saying it before.
Yeah, during the same time that Padme was having the babies, Darth Vader was being created, and it kind of it coexisted with each other. So when they were born, I think he felt everything when he was born. So basically, I think there was a connection between Padme and him. So basically, once he lived, she died.
Well, it was the death of Anakin to bring up the kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because Anakin died and Darth Vader lived right there.
Yeah.
Padme, she was just fucking an innocent bystander. She didn't have to die, man.
Darth Vader didn't really... Well, he technically died, but he didn't really die because then you go to Return of the Jedi and he kind of lived again. But going in, he wasn't truly dead just yet, but he was technically dead.
But we had that epic scene of the helmet being put on.
Yeah.
And the first... You know what I mean? And then he sits up and it's fucking James Earl Jones talking. I'm like, how's it go from a white boy to a fucking black guy voices? Which is dope, but like with that scene, why did they have like a voice alteration box inside the helmet or something?
Well,
which they had to, because actually at the Return of the Jedi, when he took his helmet off at the end, he didn't sound like fucking James Earl Jones.
And then also the fact that his whole body got fucking burnt out, so basically his voice box was all fucked up and all that shit.
He's just a torso.
Yeah.
He literally is just a torso.
He was a head and torso.
That's crazy to even think that. But the crazy part about the building of Darth Vader is that it happened instantaneous.
Yeah.
Like, Darth Sidious, the Emperor, already had that shit ready to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He already knew how he was going to look. He designed the suit.
Yeah, he's like, yo, you're going to be in this fucking suit.
That's why he was like, looking at him all the time and like, well, I don't really know your sizes.
I know your measurements.
He knew his sizes and everything, so he knew his ass was going to be in that suit.
But Palpatine, he played the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Too, when it happened, because when he came, he's like, where's Padme? You know what I mean? In his James Earl Jones voice.
Yeah.
And he was like, you couldn't restrain yourself. You killed her.
Damn.
So now Darth Vader, that was his last tie to, I would say, like, the light of the Jedi. That was the last thing that tied him to that.
Yep.
Which he didn't physically kill her. She died during childbirth.
Yeah.
Which he dreamed about. So because of all the shit that he fucking did to stop it, that's what caused it. It's poetic justice in a way. You know what I mean? It's like all the shit that you feared, you're your own worst enemy when that happened. You know what I mean?
You know what's funny is the fact that honestly, if you probably would not do all this shit, she probably lived.
Yeah, and they could have been still fucking. You know what I mean? They could have been
it
on
Naboo. Now you got robotic balls.
You can't even piss without fucking a machine doing it for you.
Yeah.
But what's crazy about all this when all this happens, like flash to Yoda, Yoda's flying away. He was like, yo, like I failed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was like, I have to go into exile.
Yeah.
So he after the kids were born, like they're like, all right, we have to split these kids up because they are one with the Force. You know what I mean? So like we have to separate them. So Senator Organa, he's like, yo, me and my wife has been wanting the daughter forever. We'll take the daughter. And then Obi is like, all right, well, I'll look after the son. I'll bring him to Tatooine because that's where Anakin is from.
Yep.
So at least he'll be on his mother planet that he was born.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, and then this is when Yoda chimes in. He's like, yeah, but now when you go there, I have an assignment for you. I have training for you. There's somebody that's coming from the spirit world who wants to talk to you, and I'm going to teach you how to do it. Which he's talking about Quan Jinn.
Yeah.
And this is when Obi, if you're a Master Jedi, I would assume that you should already know all this shit, but I guess, the levels, keeps going up. He was like level 3, and Yoda's like 22.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so, Obi doesn't want to take care of the kid because I'm pretty sure Obi-Wan wants to go out and get some pussy at some point. He doesn't want to be a single dad.
Yeah.
So who does he go to? What's on Tatooine from the second movie? You got Anakin's half brother.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Uncle Owen and his wife Beru.
Yep.
So they ended up taking the kids, and basically that is the movie.
Yeah, that's the movie. Yep. So that leads into the original trilogy. If you haven't watched that, you should watch it because that pretty much leads into it.
So tell me your gripes about the movie, man.
So honestly, I think a lot of it had to do with the acting and just the approach of everything was kind of like really daunting to me. But there was like little bits here and there. It's just things didn't make sense or it just didn't go in it correctly. And I think that was my main things on it. Honestly, out of the prequels, I like this movie the most out of the other three because I think.
Oh, it's far superior.
Yeah, because it has the action, it has the story, but if you really look at the full, because I'm kind of watching this also, and also knowing every single movie that comes after it. So.
Yes, because we just went through them.
I have more appreciation for this movie. Because it leads into what Darth Vader becomes and the badass, technically the badass that he becomes later on. Do you see it as much as you should? Not as much. If you actually go back to like the New Hope and shit like that, Vader doesn't do a lot.
No, he definitely does. He's more there. Actually, he flies.
Yeah.
Better than he fights, and he just chokes people.
Yeah, like he doesn't really do the things that you expect him to do. Like honestly, but I'm actually been reading his comic book and I've just been really digging it. So he's been pretty fucking badass in the comic. Like he goes to Jabba the Hutt and fucking, pretty much the comic starts when he hires Boba Fett to go after Han Solo. That's where the comic starts. So I think you'll dig it. I think you'll like it.
Well, that will definitely be something to dive into because. Yeah. I do read comics, but I have to read something that really is like intriguing to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like,
that was actually pretty cool.
Because there's 100,000 different fucking comics out there. I'm not just gonna fucking read.
No, the Vader comic.
Mediocre thing.
The Vader comic. I've been getting a lot of people, especially people that I know that actually know we started doing the podcast and shit. They're recommending the comic books to me, because the Star Wars comic itself it takes place between A New Hope and Empire right now, and then it goes into between Empire and Return of the Jedi. It's like 50, 60 comics right now, but Darth Vader goes in between Empire and Return of the Jedi during the time that he hired Jabba the Hutt to get someone to fucking kill Han Solo or get Han Solo. So you actually see him go to the fucking Jabba's lair. And Jabba was trying to fuck with him too. He tried to put him in the fucking pit and shit like that, knowing that Darth Vader knew the fucking trap was there and shit. And he fucking chokes Jabba the Hutt. And it's a pretty cool thing. Like the first issue was actually really good. And I just read the first issue, so I'm very intrigued in seeing where it goes from there. And the art's pretty nice as well.
Well, we will definitely dive down into that world when that time comes.
But
my gripes personally with this movie, I don't think Ewan McGregor is that good of an actor. He doesn't sell Obi-Wan well to me. I feel like they could have done it. I think Hayden Christensen did a great job in this movie.
I had issues with him.
Well, the thing that it's kind of hard to over-project an overly emotional person while fucking, his facial expressions is what made it for me because, like, you could feel the emotions when you looked at him. You know what I mean? I enjoyed that very much. I personally think that this was a Emperor movie.
Yeah.
I think this was the real birth of two very iconic villains in pop culture, which would be the Emperor Palpatine and Darth Vader. Which Darth Vader would be number one in the history of familiar faces.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When it comes to pop culture, this is the first time, that you got to see the birth of a villain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the real birth of a real sinister thing that has been plagued for fucking decades at this time. You know what I mean? So, like I said, that the last 10, 15 minutes of the movie is so important to me. It's so dramatic. It was done well. I think the ending of the movie was done well. Yeah, there's things here and there that I could live without.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think the comic relief of the movie was probably General Grievous. You know what I mean? And him and his fucking asthma. And, you know, like, everything else, you know, seeing the death of Windu and, you know, just the birth of Anakin and the lore of Anakin going to the dark side. Like, overall, out of all the prequels, this is far superior, especially over fucking Phantom Menace, because Phantom Menace compared to any one of these three is the worst. And Phantom Menace is probably the worst movie in all of Star Wars.
Yeah. Probably.
And I'm talking Solo, I'm talking everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't like Solo.
Yeah.
But I did really, really enjoy it. I've always had an appreciation for this, but I think that it was more, now I appreciated the shit that Anakin had to do to really go to the dark side.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, kill the kids and fucking go after Obi and fucking go against everything that when he was a moral, sane person. You know what I mean? Well, somewhat, anyway.
And just to be played.
Yeah, to be played, yeah.
Yeah.
Basically.
But, yeah, I dug this movie more than I originally did. Again, I had my issues with the acting and the whole thing, but other than that, the movie was interesting. The movie was a lot more entertaining. I was more intrigued in watching it than the other two, so that's
this movie was better than Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, I'll say that.
I think so.
I don't like Return of the Jedi.
I think this is top 5. You know, in me knowing all now, because I've seen everything.
Yeah.
This to me is top 5.
Top 5.
Out of what, the 11 movies that there is?
Yeah, I could say that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I would definitely say it's top 5.
Yeah, I could say that.
What would you give it a number rating out of?
I'll say 1 to 5. Or 1 to 10.
5.
1 to 5.
Yeah, it's the same shit.
I give it a 4.
4? Yeah, no, it's worth the 4.
I think the story is important. I think what you get from this movie and leading into the original trilogy, it's really important to see. I think it's more important than the other two. And honestly, like Attack of the Clones, yes, you get some story here and there. Phantom Menace didn't really need to exist. But
I know. We talked about that last
cast. We talked about it in the last cast. It doesn't need to exist. So, like, and then the fact that the second movie kind of fucked that up for me, that clearly showed that the Phantom Menace didn't need to exist. But this movie did a good job in telling the story.
So you think that it should have started with Attack of the Clones, went to this, and then it had one beginning stage Darth Vader movie?
Yeah.
That would have been dope. That would have been a really good...
I think so, because Phantom Menace was just like the beginning of Anakin and things like that. But the way they did Episode 2 was so far beyond the Phantom Menace is that nothing really continued off of the Phantom Menace. So Phantom Menace didn't really need to be a movie. It had a good game though.
Yeah, I mean, I tried so hard to justify Phantom Menace in the last cast. Make sure you guys go subscribe to our previous cast, please. Share it, talk in the comments, please, because this is something that I feel like could spring up a very good conversation.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because you got me flustered. I didn't want to admit to it. I was a little flustered, not mad or upset or anything like that. But I was just trying so hard to justify why Phantom Menace should have been there. And now I'm sitting there like, yeah, you're fucking right. You're right the whole time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But but the only thing that I loved really about Phantom Menace, and I said it in the Phantom Menace cast, is Darth Maul. Darth Maul was fucking awesome. I just didn't get enough of him. You know what I mean?
Didn't get enough.
I don't know nothing. If you watching the movies in sequence and know nothing of the world, I'm intrigued. I want to know more about him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I did like Quan Jin. I did like Quan Jin as a character. I felt like that movie was a lot of nonsense to build that character.
That movie's more of a Obi-Wan. The movie was actually Obi-Wan was barely even in it.
No, like I said, you said when you said it was an Obi-Wan movie. No, it's not an Obi-Wan movie because he was barely in it.
I know it now. after reflecting and thinking about it,
Yeah.
like,
is
that cast even out yet?
Yeah, it's out.
Attack of the Clones cast?
No, that one's coming out this next week.
All right, so guys, when you hear this cast, that cast will be out.
Yes.
We've been rapid fire with this recently.
Yeah. This one will come out later on as a SoundCloud wise. If you want to listen to the Attack Close on the YouTube channel, it's up there already. But if you wanted the nice fancy one with the music and all, wait for the SoundCloud War version, and that'll be out within the next couple of weeks or so.
But on that note, any final things you would like to say before we wrap this up?
This one was surprisingly a lot better than the other two. So I was very happy to watch it. I did not mind watching it. The other ones were kind of like chalks on nail board, kind of like excruciating to get through. So this
Phantom, one, not Attack of the Clones. Attack of the Clones.
No, I had my issues. I had a lot of issues with Attack of the Clones.
I know you did, but still, me personally, I think that Attack of the Clones is a lot better than...
So, in my opinion, Attack of the Clones was hard to get through. It was long, and it felt long. That was my big issue with it. The movie felt really long. Like, I was like, oh shit, there's still an hour in this shit? What the fuck? That's how I felt watching that movie. This one kind of flowed really good. Had the balance of action, a good story, and kind of just brought in what I expected later on.
It was consistent. Consistently drama. Drama kept building up from the beginning to the fucking end.
So
I
enjoyed this a lot more, and I think this is the best one to close out with the prequels, and it actually gave me something to go into the next batch of movies that we're going to be reviewing.
Well, our next cast for this will be a shoot the shit episode of the prequels.
So we'll be talking about the prequels and everything
we will sit back and listen to our casts, right?
Yeah.
And we'll come back and really fucking pick it apart if you like. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Which I feel like you're gonna have a fucking blast when you do this.
So last but not least, something we did not do in the beginning of the cast. I'm just gonna lay it out there just because we usually do it and we completely forgot. So the movie was released May 19th, 2005. It was an hour 40 minutes long. It did have a great budget, and pretty much that's a little bit I wanted to give you of the Revenge of the Sith. Please like and subscribe to all our channels. Follow all our social media. I am Merc with the Mic. You can follow me on Twitter, Tumblr, SoundCloud, YouTube, Twitch TV, and Instagram, all Merc with the Mic. You can find all our podcasts on there. There are playlists of Not a Trekkie that has all the Not a Trekkie episodes all lined up, so you can listen to them straight through. Follow Red Cyclone Inc. on all the social medias as well: Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter, WordPress, our Facebook pages, the Red Cyclone Inc. and the Wrestling Babble pages, and follow Tenacious T.
Yeah, follow me out on Twitter at Tenacious T RC Inc.
Yes.
That is my only page for social media wise, based on solely for our podcast. You can follow me on my regular old Instagram at T_DA_GUN.
Yeah.
Or like you would like to put it, just fucking stalk me at Grand Central Station in Manhattan. You know what
exactly.
I mean?
Just stalk
I'm
him.
floating around. Just stalk me. I'm there. Get me a monster and we can talk. You know what I mean? We're good to go.
All right. So
I would always like to give my shout out to Game On, retro video game store based out on Long Island at 2 locations of Smithtown and another place. They specialize in all of our retro video game needs from the beginning stages of video games to some of them nowadays, but they don't focus on that. They want the retro love to keep going on. So shouts out to Game On. You can check them out on Facebook and also Instagram at Game On. Literally that. Shouts out to Tristan, who is the owner. Very nice guy. Very good friend of mine. I can't wait for the world to open up so I can go over there and play Mario 3 on an arcade thing, which is amazing because they just hooked it up. Shouts out to them. Always a shout out to my mentor in the world of Star Wars, my boy Mike, aka Mike Wazowski, because without him I would not have the love that I do for the Star Wars. So I will always give you a nod and the devotion that you deserve, because if it wasn't for you, I would not know shit about what I'm doing. Also, give a shout out to my brother, James, aka James Anthony, aka Credit the Prince. Me and him have dove down into this world many, many times, and he's been my rider through this. So I will always definitely give a shout out to him, and yeah, that's shouts out to the Max, and shouts out to Sal the Drunken Yeti.
Yep.
And yeah.
That's it. So, peace out. Later's next.
Well, Jankies. All
I was
them,
gonna put that in. But next cast would be a shoot the shit of Not a Trekkie. Peace out. Later's, and always remember, follow the Jinkies and fuck Zordon.
Make sure you check our other cast of Shell Shock of the Morphin cast, and our retro video game cast of Games of Rage.
Yep.
Be sure you like and subscribe to them. Please comment down below. Anything you'd like to say, things you want us to do, fucking tap on, a little insight. We're only as good as our audience, so keep that shit flowing.